Hi, my name is Katia, and in this video I'm going to be going over Unit 5 of AP Computer Science A, Classes. So in Java, classes are really important because Java is an object-oriented language, and classes basically help you organize information and create different objects. String is an object you would have encountered before and is an example of a Java implemented class. So a class you can think of as sort of like a blueprint where you can see an overview of the object, you can see the attributes, you can see the methods, you can see all the different things that work inside an object. So for example, if we have a car class, we have the header public class car, open bracket, and then close bracket at the very end, and inside we have three attributes, so private string model, private int year, private string color. These can all be updated regularly and will stay with one object. And then we have a function, so public void drive, and there's some code in there that will drive your car. Classes have an important method called a constructor. Constructors are called when you create the object, and in order to update the information in the object, we use them. So for example, if we want to make a new car, we would call the constructor, which is just denoted by public and the name of the class, and then you can pass in parameters. Usually constructors will take in parameters, and those parameters will be updating your attributes so that the car can start off with some defining characteristics. So for example, if you create a car, you can call it with BMW, 2017, red, so then you have all of those attributes have information in them. So this keyword is really important. It allows you to differentiate between the parameter and the attribute that is part of the car class. So by calling this dot model, we call the private string model we defined earlier equals model. The second model would be referring to the string model we pass in. So accessor methods are also an important part of classes. These are methods that are public, and outside classes can then access them. They can call them and get instance variables. So these are also called getter methods. So for example, if we wanted to have a accessor method that returns the model of the car, it'll be a string method. It will return model. Similarly, mutator methods are called setter, also called setter methods. They allow outside classes, because they're public, to control changes to a variable. So for example, if you want to change the model, you would call public void set model, pass in what you want to change it to, and it will update it for you. In classes, static methods and variables are also important. They are associated with the class and not the object. So when you instantiate an object, static methods will carry through with that object and the next object that you create. So for example, if you wanted to keep track of how many cars you had, so how many objects you have of this car type, you would make a private static int car counter, and then every time you make an object of the car class, you can update this and it will carry through. So scope and access. So in Java, scope is really important because where you define a variable determines where and you can access it again. So variables declared in one method cannot be referenced by another method unless you pass it into the parameter. Similarly, a variable declared in a while loop or a for loop will be destroyed when the compiler leaves the loop. So in this class, the instance variables such as name and age for class animal have scope over the entire class, while variable x is only limited within the bday method, the birthday method. So you want to be really careful. This really helps with limiting variables to certain parts of your program, but you also want to be careful and make sure you're not calling methods that can't be accessed. So this is the overview in the classes in Java.